You check your phone, no messages, no missed calls, just silence that feels heavier than it should. You scroll through people laughing, connecting, belonging, and something inside you feels disconnected from all of it. Society tells you this means something is wrong, that you are failing at something basic called being human. But what if the truth is darker and far more powerful than anything you have been told before? What if your solitude is not rejection, but a psychological filter rejecting what your mind refuses to tolerate? Most people crave connection, not because it is meaningful, but because they are terrified of being alone. They will tolerate fake conversations, forced laughter, and shallow bonds just to avoid facing their own thoughts. But if you have few or no friends, it often means your brain rejects what feels artificial immediately. You notice things others ignore, subtle inconsistencies, hidden intentions, energy that does not align with words spoken. You are not listening to what people say, you are decoding what they actually mean beneath the surface. This creates distance, because most people are not honest, not even with themselves, let alone with you. When you see through someone, they feel it, even if you never say a single word out loud. Your presence becomes uncomfortable because you reflect things they spend their entire lives trying to hide. They call you intense, distant, or hard to read, but what they really mean is they cannot control you. Another reason your circle is small is because you do not enjoy shallow interaction the way others do. Small talk feels exhausting, repetitive, and meaningless, like exchanging words that carry no real substance or depth. You crave conversations about ideas, purpose, truth, the kind of discussions most people actively avoid out of discomfort. When you bring depth into a room, it shifts the energy, and people quickly retreat back to safer topics. So you learn to stay quiet, not because you have nothing to say, but because no one is ready to hear it. Then there is something even more dangerous, your resistance to control and social pressure from groups. Most friendships operate on silent rules: agree with us, behave like us, follow the pattern without questioning anything. But your mind does not accept that. It questions, it challenges, it refuses to conform just for acceptance. You would rather stand alone in truth than belong to something built on illusion or silent compromise. And that makes you incompatible with environments that depend on obedience disguised as connection. You also value your time differently, not as something to pass, but as something to invest carefully and intentionally. While others socialize to escape boredom, you focus on building something, improving something, becoming something greater. Every hour spent in meaningless interaction feels like a loss, like you are drifting away from your real purpose. So naturally, you withdraw, not out of arrogance, but out of clarity about what actually matters long term. Then comes the final trait, the one that makes everything else make sense at the deepest level. You do not need constant validation, attention, or approval to feel complete or real in your own existence. You can sit alone, think alone, work alone, and still feel grounded without needing external confirmation constantly. And this terrifies people, because someone who does not need others cannot be easily influenced or controlled. So understand this clearly: your solitude is not a weakness. It is a side effect of how your mind operates differently. You are not missing out. You are filtering, removing what does not align, and preserving what actually matters. The world is built for connection, but not all connection is meaningful, and not all people are meant for you. And once you accept that, your silence stops feeling empty and starts feeling like control.